Well, the clock is ticking and the time is running out. Only 4 rounds to go. Brazil is the next obstacle in the driver's wake. Welcome along to Brazil for round 21 of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship and the São Paulo Grand Prix. We are here in Brazil, which is the largest country in South America and home to the second largest river in the world. Brazil is notorious for his large, iconic carnival festivals, as well as his large rainforest, which takes up 60% of the total area of the country. Well, tonight it plays host to Formula One in the São Paulo Grand Prix. Speaking of the Grand Prix, then, there's been 49 previous Grand Prix held in Brazil, the first one coming in 1972 at the Interlagos circuit. There are 15 corners, 10 to the left and 5 to the right, which makes up the 4.3-kilometer, 2.67-mile distance. There are 2 DRS zones, one of them run in turn 1 and the other into the Descida do Lago or turn 4, which assists the average lap speed of 220 kph or 131 miles per hour. 3 of the next 4 races will hold the C4, C3, and C2 compounds of tire brought by Pirelli. Well, this is one of them. The C4 is the red-wooled soft compound tire, the C3 being yellow-wooled medium compound, and the C2 being the white-wooled hard compound. Obviously, intermediates and full wets are available right now. It's sunny and clear in São Paulo. No inters or wets will be necessary. The driver that has the right compound on at the right time will most likely be the one that will succeed here tonight at the São Paulo Grand Prix, and that's going to be crucial for the championship because, like I said, 4 rounds to go. There's only 4 rounds for these 3 horses. Watch Scherble, Sweller's team, and Wraith to fight it out and duke it out to see who exactly will be the Season 7 Breakout Racing League Tier 2 champion. Sweller's team currently leads 49 points, the gap between the Alfa Romeo and Wraith in P2, with P3 not too far behind, 28 points to be exact. From Wraith is Bot Scherble and the Aston Martin. More on him later on. Toneless Death in 4th in the Ferrari. He was eliminated from the championship contention a week ago. He'll now try to fight for that 4th and maybe even 3rd spot. He's only 61 points away from Bot Scherble currently. Heatwave in 5th in the Alpha Tauri with Masi and the Alfa Romeo behind him in 6th. No Limit in 7th. Veyron sits 8th with 9th being BRL Tweaking and, well, 10th being Roscoe in the other Alpha Tauri. Calzener sits 11th. And, well, he'll be here today in the McLaren. In the Constructors' Championship, then, it's crucial for this race for Alfa Romeo over Aston Martin. They have 147 points gap. Exiting, the amount of points after São Paulo is only 132. So, meaning this race is crucial for the Constructors' Championship, and it was crowned a season ago with the McLaren team winning it. Now we have a chance for the Alfa Romeo team to follow suit. Aston Martin needs to outscore him by 15. Red Bull sits 3rd. They jumped Ferrari from a week ago. Ferrari sits 4th with McLaren 5th. Alpha Tauri 6th, 19 points behind McLaren with Mercedes in the wing in 7th. Alpine sits 8th with Williams in 9th. And Haas, only 3 points back from Williams, rounds out the top 10. Now, like I said, the clock is ticking. And, well, the time is running out once more. Only 4 rounds to do so. Who will take hold of that Constructors and the Drivers' Championship? It's getting closer to being crowned. My name is Haycatcher, joined alongside our Redeemer and Minico later on in the booth. He's currently resetting his Xbox, by the way. Provisional pole, 107.5, messed by the Aston Martin and Bot Scherble. He's actually behind him. Astroplane sits provisional pole. Bot Scherble an 8-1 on the mediums, but with 4 rounds to go, driver are obviously going to be eager to get these results, to get these showings, especially for this Aston Martin team. They need to get 15 points ahead of Alfa Romeo to keep their constructors bid alive. And, well, the other Aston Martin, Bot Scherble, the one we're on right now, who's right now P2 provisionally on the mediums, he needs to do something crucial for the championship. He needs to outscore Sweller's team and make sure he does not follow behind that championship cutoff, with that obviously being about 76 points after tonight. He sits 77th. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose. 78 points. He needs to not lose more than 1 point to Sweller's team, which, by the way, goes behind him in P3. But like I said, drivers are eager, but some are actually brave and will try to push as hard as they possibly can. What separates the eager ones from the brave ones?
I mean, the eager ones, they're probably going to try to push a little bit more, but the brave ones, they're going to look for moves that nobody would think would be possible. And that's really the difference between, those 2 types of drivers. But, like you said, with 4 rounds left to go, this Heatwave goes provisional P3 with an 8-2, excuse me. And then Tweaking with an 8-5 on the mediums. It's going to be interesting to see if Mossie's going to be the next start to set a lap coming out of the final corner. It's not really a corner in my mind, but he's going to go provisional P2 with a 7-9, a very nice lap from him. I believe the next car is going to be the Mercedes of Veyron.
Definitely so. And Veyron, once again, his momentum of the last couple of races has been incredible. Obviously, those 4 straight 4th places, and 2nd places, and then a 4th place. And by the way, 4 milliseconds, a lot of 4s for Veyron. well, obviously now he sits only 4 milliseconds off a master plane for provisional pole. So, by the way, like I said, Miniko will also be joining us in the booth. He'll be getting on quite shortly. Roscoe is on an outlap as well in the Alpha Tauri. Wraith, the championship protagonist, sitting in 10th. He's on an outlap as well. Toneless Death is, once again, like I said a week ago, was eliminated from championship contention, and Groggy and Oregano are both in the pit lane right now. Everyone else out and set at least one flying lap. Everyone else seemed to choose the mediums, indicating and hinting maybe there is a dry race ahead of us.
I mean, I really hope so. I mean, in the long run, it's one of those circuits where it's entertaining and the dry and the wet. I remember back to I think it was 2016 when it was a completely dampened circuit. And there was like a 10-foot wall of spray behind the cars as you saw Max Verstappen actually fly through the field. Really owning the conditions that day. I believe he finished P2 ahead of Nico Rosberg. And obviously, Kimi crashing out on the start-finish straight, just aquaplaning a little bit. That was back in 2016. We're here in 2022 in Brazil. On board with Wraith in the second sector. He's going to go into turn 8. Coming out of turn 8, keeps it nice and tidy. Coming into turns 9. Very easily to lock up and lose power on exit. Coming into turn 10, going to come across the sector 2 split. It's going to be a purple sector 2 into turn number 11. I may be getting these corners wrong. Don't mind me, I always do. Blasting up the hill through turns number 11. Whoa, going to get a little bit loose. Coming through the final straight here, he's going to cross the line. He's going to go up to 7-2 for provisional P1. Very nicely lapped from right there as his championship protagonist, Spoiler in 8th right now.
Well, one thing I crucially saw, by the way, Roscoe now on a flying lap as well, but all these drivers who went in the medium compounded tire, Roscoe goes to 7th, has switched to the softs and put it on in the pit lane. You see right now the fastest lap everyone has done. There you are, and there's the laps, the tires they have on for those laps. 5 have gone the medium, everyone else has gone the softs, except for Groggy Oregano and Toneless Death, who's yet to set a time, but everyone else is right now seemingly like they're going to try on those soft compounded tires, except for Mozzie in 4th. He's gone out on the medium. Okay,
I just got confirmation from BRL tweaking that it is a dry session in the race. Sorry, I didn't let me go into the party because he was having Xbox issues. And speaking of the man,
there he is. So Mozzie running wide a little bit into turn 8. So he's obviously backed out on his lap. Obviously, he's on an out lap, so it doesn't really matter too much. Josh Sherbill going through. Remember, he set his time on the medium compounded tire, an 8-1 for so far. He's now on the soft compounded tire. You see Roscoe right there. Now through into 12. So, yes, you did actually get the corners a little bit wrong. Redeemer by 1 off. You see through 13 into 14 now. The Aston Martin on a pusher flying lap. He needs to get some crucial starting positions because it could be very effective. The DRS, and it's difficult to overtake Sao Paulo, even though there's a lot of places to do so. He goes provisional P2 by 52 milliseconds. That's crucial for his race, which now puts Swell Steam on the back foot.
Final corner. Oh, one of the final corners, I should say. Why? He's going to do it again.
Keeps it under the barriers, so he'll try to get that going again. He invalidated, and now his tires may be a little bit overheated. He may go back to the pit lane as well and recuperate himself. Swell Steam going through the center S's and out into the Curva del Sol, the championship leader. 49 points, 4 rounds to go. He needs to, well, just kind of keep him at bay at this point. Just kind of limit him and just really try to get the best he can out of the car. Not really make too many mistakes because he has this championship almost, well, in the bag as he validates through into turn 5. So he'll have to go again a little bit later on. Tweaking, though, he's a valid. He's going through turn 15. Now, across the start-finish line, he is down in 8th. He stays 8th. He'll go again.
So, interesting, Mozzie is out of mediums at the moment. He is 3 to 4 tenths down on his time, the second split. Let's see what he does across the line. Coming across the line, he's going to be 3 tenths down on his time, so he's going to do another lap, I believe, back to back on these mediums. Which is, well, they do have more durability, but
they do, but it's kind of concerning now because Heat Wave's out on the mediums again. He did his lap on the softs. This is now the second driver who's gone out on the mediums thinking he possibly can go faster. Do you think they've done that?
Mozzie. It really depends on if they used their whole like a really good lap on their first stint on the softs. Mozzie is just going to validate they're coming into turn number 7. Or is that turn 8?
That is 7. 8 is where we are right now with Heat Wave. So yes, you were kind of right with that one. In a 9.
Also, before anyone says anything, I am battling. Yeah, shut up, man. Who cares? Hey,
wow.
I'm kidding.
Watch it.
Before anyone says anything, I am battling a slight head cold. That's why I do sound a little bit different, but we're gonna push through it and see what happens.
I'm gonna be brutally honest. You're not really. You don't sound very different.
Okay.
Heat Wave to the line he goes. Turn 15. Across the line in the Alpha Tauri. He does improve on his medium run compared to his soft run by about 0.2 or so.
Wait,
that
Roscoe,
could be crucial. That now puts him
for the Alpha Tauris because Roscoe is right behind him on a lap as well. So is Heat Wave going to play the team game? It doesn't look like he's going to.
Just want to say,
he may actually be pushing again.
It's hard to say. I just want to say before that his previous lap for Heat Wave, that was actually on the mediums. He didn't better his soft lap. He just did a better medium lap. Since he has 2 laps on him now, I'm not sure if he's going again. It looks like he is, considering his battery. But I don't know.
Well, on board with Thomas, one of the other 2 drivers did not set a lap yet. He went with the 16.7 in the first sector with the purple sector 1. So,
see,
don't know
into 8, into 9.
Ooh, that's
not good for Master Plan.
Okay, so
He actually left the session. Send him an invite in if you can.
Rico, is that you? Okay.
I don't really care who does it.
I got it.
You deal with the invites, man. I'm here with like chat and stuff. Know your role.
Purple sector 2
You're
for
doing a whole
Toneless
lot
Death.
more work than I am. Shush.
Hey, man.
You 2 are bickering in the booth. There's a race going on. Toneless Death
Catch
to
it's
the line
qualifying.
he goes.
It's not a race. Come on.
Hey, we're on track now, are we?
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
Toneless Death to 5th. Ahead of Roscoe. So he's now the highest Ferrari-powered car.
What's going on
and,
here?
Sosi
Here
in the pit lane.
Is anyone on the field?
Could be.
I see
Check.
his gaslight blinking.
I don't think he has, but he's just very low on it. He backs off on his lap. I don't think he was on a lap, but he's gonna go straight.
Wraith is up 1/10 on his lap time coming through the sector 2 split.
6 second lap time, maybe? Come across the line, and by 10, by 100. Misses
But
out.
look at this. Sherbil's also a 10.5 up in the middle sector. Can he probably do battling for pole? He does improve by a 10th, but that's about it. He stays second. This could be challenging for pole position here.
Might be able to do another lap. It's got to be a bit tight, but I think Gerbil will be able to do another lap, as well as I believe Toneless, who is on a lap right now. Actually, he dives back into the pits, so never mind.
Yeah, his teammate Tweaking, although, is on a lap on brand new softs. Coming in through turn number 9. Into turn 10. He's going to be second up on his lap time. With the
Yeah, Tweaking did a lap on the mediums.
Yes, just did he?
Yes, he did. So going now into 14 and 15 now. Can he match his teammate Toneless Death in 5th right now for the Ferrari?
He goes
to 3rd. What a lap.
And comes Zoner, he's invalidated.
We saw him letting through, I can't remember what driver it was, down in the middle sector. Masterplane is back in. That's good for him. He has another shot at qualifying. 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the session. Gerbil comes in, and Wraith follows suit. So now everyone except for Tweaking's in, and Heatwave's the first one out.
So, only have a Tweaking. He actually went marginally quicker in the first sector. He might be doing another lap on these softs.
Wraith retires. He can't go faster, he thinks. Wow. Is that maybe a move? Is that maybe a move that could cost him here?
Singapore 2013, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I quoted that one correctly. My brain works. Tweaking's done the second sector.
He's backed off, I can tell. Yes,
Yep.
I think tweaking is just going to come into the pits. That's been done.
Was there
He can get another
what
lap
do you
in.
guys think at the moment of the 2022 F1 cars?
Reminds me of 2008.
What category? Looks, sounds, camera, in what way?
Everything, Josh, obviously. Come on.
The sounds are
Well,
basically
you know,
the same. Like, they're the same V6s that we dealt with last season.
Well, yeah, obviously. This was asking Master Plane's also out of the session again, so you know what your job is, whoever I am speaking to, figure it out. Heatwave down to the Retro Posta. He's on a flying lap once again in the middle sector. He's a 16.5 in the first sector, 3/10 improvement. He's 1.1 seconds off of pole position. Now this time is his first time in the softs. Master Plane's once again back in the session, good for him. He has about 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. It's getting closer and closer to the end of the session, running wide. He keeps it valid. He may have actually caught a break here. Into 9 in the middle sector. We have a couple more corners to go. The exit of turn 11 down into the entrance of turn 12. That's the sector 2 split cut line. Can he do anything? Heatwave, we've seen him have a ton of qualifying pace when he's not on the medium compounded tire. That's a little inside joke. He is 6.5, almost 7/10 up in the middle sector. That is about a second up already. Could he possibly be a contender for pole? In the Alpha Tower, he had a good week a week ago, and before that, he had an even better week. Heatwave to the line. Through turn 15, he goes. He goes to 4th.
Think, by the looks of the way he took turn 12, considering the tires, he might have overheated. He went a little bit wide at turn 12, didn't exactly hit the apex, and that might have compromised him a little bit, but it was still good enough for the second row. But that could definitely be
12:30
beaten.
is up almost 4/10 on his time through the sector 1
Veyron.
split is Veyron. Yeah, Veyron's going to go P2 at the moment. Only 2 thousandths of a second ahead of Botch Gerbil, who's on an outlap. That Master Plane has left once again.
I believe one of the next drivers up on their flying lap. Never mind. Sweller's team invalidates. Will he have enough time or fuel to get in? That'll be crucial. Botch Gerbil, he's going to go across turn 13 now. He's going to start his flying lap in a few minutes' time. Behind him, Groggy Oregano in the Alpine currently sits 1.7 off of pole position. He's on a flying lap. Can he improve on this lap at all? Going through into turn 14, into 15 now, the Alpine. Can he improve into the top 10? Can he put his Alpine there? He does not. He has one more lap to do so. Behind him, though, once again, Sweller's team, he will make it back. 25 seconds left to go. Heatwave retires in the pit lane. His teammate Roscoe, he's going to the line this time. Across 14, into 15 he goes with the DRS activated on the Alpha Tower. Remember, he was a podium a week ago. Can he get up there now? He gets up to 6, almost matching his teammate in the timing sheets. Behind him, though, is going to be Veyron again. Will he go on for another lap? Looks like he may. No, he's
Arizona is up
blinking.
7/10 through the second sector split. Behind him is going to be Tom Steph. That's qualifying is now over. Drivers have to make the laps count because owner is going to come across the line. Going to go up to P8. Excuse me, P9. This is going to go all the way up to P2.
Wow. Behind him, Mozzie in the Alfa Romeo. He's invalidated. He'll go 10th. His teammates through the middle sector. Botch Gerbil, he's going across the line in a few minutes' time. Can he find a almost 2/10 to get pole position? Tweaking goes to 3rd. Botch Gerbil goes pole and into the 9s. The first one. Behind him is going to be Groggy Oregano in the Alpine through 12th. Can he improve? He does to 11th position. Behind him, Sweller's team, the championship leader. Can he improve on his time? He's 12th at the moment. He goes up to 8th. Qualifying may be done. Roscoe is invalidated, and it is done. Botch Gerbil's on pole from BRL rate from a 10th of a second. Toneless Death in 3rd. He wishes it was like this a week ago. He could possibly still be in the championship fight. Tweaking behind him, his teammate. Ferrari's on the 2nd row with Aaron in 5th. Heatwave ahead of his teammate in 6th and 7th. Sweller's team from 8th. That is exactly what Botch Gerbil needs.
And in terms of constructors, if Aston Martin want to catch Alfa Romeo in the constructors, it's a bit far. Botch Gerbil, he's in a great position to do so. Master playing a little bit further back, but we'll see what he can do in the race. But yeah, Sweller being all the way down in PA, that's not what he wants.
Not at all. So Botch Gerbil wins pole for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Wraith alongside him in the front row. Both Ferraris take up row 2 and 3rd and 4th. The Toneless out qualifying, tweaking. Veyron 5th. Heatwave 6th with his teammate behind him. Roscoe in 7th. Swellerstein, the championship leader. We talked about this. Crucially from 8th. That's why we'll talk about why it's so crucial in a few moments' time. Masterplane 9th in the Aston Martin. Calzona rounds out the top 10. Everyone in the top 10 will have to start on the C4 soft compounded tires. Mozzie in 11th and Groggy Oregano in 12th. Both will have free choice of tire for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
So just a little bit of confirmation on why Masterplane kept leaving. He is stuck in the pit lane, looking at the pit lane, and he cannot push any buttons.
Interesting.
Best to play it on wheel, because if so, that might be a case, in which that's another glitch to add to the list.
Right, we had it happen this week in the league that you and I are in, Miniko, in Tier 2. Excuse me, and the previous week.
Yikes.
So that's just, like you said, something to look out for.
Definitely not going to help Aston Martin, that's for sure.
Definitely. Obviously, right now, Masterplane trying to load into the session, so it may actually be a lot more than what we thought of a little simple glitch. It may be something completely more detrimental to his race, as if he doesn't join in a few moments' time, he may have a problem.
More importantly, there's no timer. Oh, there we go.
Goes.
Never mind.
And now I don't
If that's the case, he may not be able to join the session again.
I don't think his car is going to be on the grid.
It might. Let me check. No, his car's on the grid.
Okay, he does be able to rejoin. That's good. He'll start from 9th position. Hopefully he can get his issue fixed. There's the race director. Once again, everyone starting in the top 10 on the soft compounded tires. They qualified through, and it's a mandatory, that tire rule. It will not be here for next season. Okay, well, correction. Next game, it is going to be there for next season, but interesting how everyone has chosen the C4. It's going to be basically a one-stop regardless. Mozzie in 11th and Groggy Oregano in 12th will both have free choice of tire. Will they try to go for the mediums? Yes, they will. There's Mozzie in the Alfa Romeo.
So that's another thing I wanted to bring up as well. For next season in BRL F1, they got rid of that tire rule. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if the car does its job, they don't need it anymore.
Well, theoretically, if.
Yeah, I mean, from what Leclerc said about it, that from 5/10 to, well, pretty much up their gearbox, it's a lot better than a season ago, and it is a little bit better following, but from 5/10 to a second, it's kind of the same, so we'll see. They still have a long way to go, as Bahrain's not even here yet.
Yep, that is
true.
true.
Through the second test.
It's true. We don't even know how they look on the stream itself. But speaking of the stream, it's time to go. Formation lap is underway for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Any 36-lap event. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an incredible race, as it has been in seasons past. We've seen a season ago a ton of chaos, but a lot of it happened in history, in the record books. A lot of the victories have come from the front row. 6 of the last 7 has been won from pole. The only one that hasn't, 2017, being Sebastian Vettel winning from second, which is why we said it's crucial that Squeller's team's down in 8th. That may be a statistic that cannot be broken. We'll have to find out at the end of these 36 laps. A season ago, like I said earlier on in qualifying, Constructors' Championships, the McLaren team were locked here a season ago at the final lap. And ironically, we have a McLaren member in this party. Let's move on from that before something happens.
I wasn't even going to mention that, but all right.
But, well, Aston Martin, once again, they have to make sure they outscore the Alfa Romeo team by at least 15 points to make sure that championship can be carried on into Jeddah a week from now. But the previous winner, being an Alfa Romeo, TRT Gutiérrez, he won a season ago. Can the Alfa Romeo? Mozzie starts 11th, Sweller's team starts 8th. Will they do it again? Second in a row, we'll have to find out. But it was, like I said, a dramatic finish where actually an Alfa Romeo was leading and spun off. Once again, it's never safe at Sao Paulo, but penalties are not as strict. 50% of last season has been had penalties on. Well, is that more? Is it less? We'll find out. Penalties will obviously be a talking point, but as much as strategy too. 15 laps for the C4, 25 for the C3, and 35 or so for the C2. That's what Pirelli say. We'll see how much is true. 36 laps, and we're about to be underway.
I think also a big question coming into this race is who's going to bite the bullet first when it comes to pitting.
Big time. The undercut is a lot more powerful than the undercut, but you have to survive the opening laps to get there first. And to 12th on the position, Groggy Oregano to Bosch Turbo. We go to the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. It's the first time it's not a finale in over a season and a half. and it's lights out and away we go, and a good start off the line. It's the Ferrari. Look at this. Toneless Death to the right-hand side, looking into turn one. Wraith's going to get ahead of Bosch Turbo into the Senna S. It's going to be two Ferraris ahead of him. It's going to be Bosch Turbo and Wraith. Contact made between the two. Turbo around the outside of the curve to Cell. Down to the Retro Pasta. Who makes it down to the Cita del Lago first? Wraith ahead of Bosch Turbo. They're going to be still side by side down to the Cita del Lago. Tweaking on board with him in third ahead of his teammate Toneless Death. They're still wheel to wheel between the top two. Turbo around the outside of Wraith. They're still wheel to wheel into 5. Turbo and Wraith are still wheel to go. They're still going to go for it into 6. Into 7. It's going to be the double right-hander. And Turbo stays ahead of the Red Bull of Wraith. But what happens further back? Tweaking stays in third. Toneless Death and teammate in fourth. They swap around in the opening lap. And what chaotic and start it has been between the top two. But they couldn't hold on. 35 more laps to go.
Already straight off the start, Sweller's already up 2 positions. That's the Alpine round. Kroggy is spun off of, I think it was Roscoe.
Not the start he wanted, obviously, to this Grand Prix. As Matchplane gets past Mozzie for 9th once again, but it's going to be the other Aston Martin leading from Wraith by over 0.8 of a second, because that lead, a little bit of incentive for Tweaking down into the Senna S to try to make a move, but he has his teammate a little bit closer on. He's going to be a little bit too far back down to the turn 1. DRS will be enabled at about 2 laps timed. Heatwave looks like he may have had some damage he's spinning on. He could possibly go for those hards and a front wing change. We'll find out what he can do in the Alpha Tauri. A long way still to go, but Wraith 9/10 off of that lead pack right now of Bosch Turbo. He's pulling away.
Yes, Kroggy spun again in the Senna S. See if he has any wing damage. He does not. As I believe Masterplane is not in the session. My name is not highlighting anybody in the spectator menu. Cool. Oh, there goes Heatwave in the pits.
He just reset the... Well, it was an auto reset.
Yeah,
I believe
he lost his
he
wing.
spun in the pit lane. Yeah, he may have had contact in the pit lane.
There's no one in the pits.
He was coming out of the pit lane.
Might have hit that barrier on the outside, and they just reset his car, and well, luckily he's able to continue, but gone from bad to worse for him. Ray's starting to catch up a little bit. He's pulled away from Tweaking. He's within 7/10 of Gerbil now.
Yes, he is. Wraith will grab the fastest lap, and DRS will be enabled this time. They can use it down to the Retro Pasta into the Cita del Lago. Who makes that move? But it's going to be crucial between these two. The Ferraris, they're almost nose to turn. Veyron's not too far behind. Sweller's team not too far behind the Mercedes. Who makes the move down into the Cita del Lago?
He was just outside of the DRS range.
Pack being in fourth, back from third on back. Oh no!
Oh!
Front wing damage to the Ferrari. Spinning off, and now he will be out. And yes, Masterplane is not in the session, but now he's going to have to go back to the pit lane and repair that front wing behind him. You see Mozzie getting through, Tweaking, just not having that first slaps that he really wanted. He'll be in the pit lane. Same with the Heatwave again. That's not the race he wanted at all.
I was on board with
Sweller.
Oh, that's your job.
But no, like it won't. Like my driver list won't light up anyone's name.
Yeah, I'll do that. But I was on board with Sweller when Tweaking went off, and he was so close. And Veyron as well to collecting the back of Tweaking when he spun. It was super tight, but they just managed to come off clean. And now, Toneless is leading this DRS train from third all the way down to sixth.
Speaking of super tight, Wraith was almost out of that DRS range. Bosch Turbo ahead of him. He obviously marginally got back in it and got down to 8/10. You see the Alpha Tauri of Heatwave coming out of the pit lane now ahead of Wraith. That's not what he wanted at all. Tweaking into the pit lane, and Veyron not too far behind Toneless Death. Just couldn't get there this time, and down to the Cita del Lago. And, well, now he'll have to try again. Down the main straightaway into the Senna S.
Looking like the DRS isn't as powerful as we thought it was. I thought it was going to be within, if you're around 8/10, you'd have a shot, but clearly it's just proven to be the case, which is interesting.
Interesting indeed. But Wraith has actually gone a lot closer to Gerbil this time. He's now within 6/10. This could honestly be an incentive for him to go and try to make a move on the Aston Martin down to the turn 1.
He went to the Ventures line through the final corner.
I don't think it's going to be close enough.
8/10 gap is close enough. He may not be close enough this time.
But who is close enough, though, is going to be Veyron on Toneless Death looking for the move. He's not going to. He's going to back out of it.
Heatwave's already out of the session prior to the pit lane on lap 5. But here we go again. Veyron on Toneless Death. breaking the slip chain to the left-hand side, trying to hold on to the position as much as he can. Veyron's not close enough again.
I think Veyron's trying to play the long game here, just looking over. He's got plenty of BRS. I don't think his tires are overheating all that much. He's just kind of playing it easy. Toneless looking a little bit off in terms of energy, which isn't going to help him. So Veyron's just kind of keeping it calm. But if Sweller gets a bit close, which he is now, he's going to have to be a bit careful.
I was going to say, because he looked a lot closer to the exit of turn 7 than well, Veyron would have thought, because I honestly thought he may have tried to go send it on down the inside of turn 8. He was a little bit too far back this time. But Will Sweller trying to make a move. Will Veyron try to get a little bit of a gap? Maybe try to back up a bit to get a little bit of a slingshot effect, which Slaughterstein had a little bit of a, kind of an interesting moment, the exit of turn 13. But this time, Veyron with the ERS. Will he be close enough to Toneless Death down in the turn 1? He's closing in. He's gaining on the Ferrari. He's a little bit too far back this time again. And Swellerstein can't find that gap either. Wraith stays at about 5/10 to 6/10. Here it comes down into the Curve d'Assault. Will Toneless Death stay in third again from Veyron? It seems like it is going to be the issue again. He's just not close enough and not much of a run on the Curve d'Assault.
You can definitely tell that Veyron's just kind of keeping it easy, keeping it calm. Toneless, he might be struggling a little bit because he's nowhere near the pace of the front two. And that's kind of hurting him because Veyron right now, well, once he goes through the end of sector 2, he might be a little bit far back unless he gets a good exit. But Veyron's basically all over the back of him.
Yes, he is, as well as Wraith on the back of Gerbil. He's now a little bit closer than he was a lap ago, kind of teetering on the edge of that 6/10 margin. Can he try to find enough gap at the exit of turn 12? You see dipping out into the third gear marginally, trying to get that exit on Botch Gerbil. It looks like Gerbil got a little bit of the better exit, and Wraith will stay behind again, but will he be close enough now? 6/10 back, and maybe a little bit too far once again.
Yes, well,
Well,
here goes Veyron on the inside before turn 1. He's going to get the move done. But Galver Sweller, Toneless coming back at him, though.
There's the detection point. So Toneless will have it, but he has to worry about Swellerstein behind him, and he'll be closing up this time. Battery on the Alfa Romeo, down into the Desierto del Lago, late braking for the Alfa Romeo, and he will get through on Toneless Death.
So Sweller really showing his... Yeah, Sweller really showing his race pace at this moment, not having a great quality, but really showing good race pace.
Toneless just struggling at the moment. Maybe his tire is a little bit hotter than he wanted to. Masterplane, by the way, has a 3-second time penalty to be applied at the end of his race time, the first one of this grid so far. On lap 7, we have completed 6 laps, almost on lap 7 in a second's time, but we've lost one driver, that being TTM Heatwave. There's 11 more to go. Points are not necessarily scarce. Only one driver so far will not get them.
Yeah, watching Sweller chasing after Veyron as that's groggy around in turn 7.
Yes, it will. Roscoe closing in a bit. He may try to make a move on Toneless Death. He will try to make a move on Toneless Death to the left-hand side, down into the center as he goes into turn 1. Late braking for the Alpha Tauri. He will get the move done. Toneless kind of sinking like a rock.
And Mozzie Sweller's teammate is going to get past Calzona, and Tweaking's going to get past Groggy. One thing I do want to point out, though, the master plane is ghosted on my end, but it's him driving, so...
Interesting.
Yeah, good luck. Anyways, back to the action. Don't get you to make me laugh. Into turn number 8 and 9. Go Sweller and Veyron with the battle still for the lead.
It's closer now. I mean, just seems like through turn 11, Wraith just gets that dirty air from following behind the Aston Martin, and just Gerbil will get the better exit a bit once again, maybe use a little bit of that energy deployment. Wraith has a surplus of it.
Sweller's going for the move before DRS. He's going to look on the inside, coming into the front corner. He's going to get the move done with the help and aid of DRS. And ERS, Roscoe might look for the move as well. He's going to think about it. He's going to take back out of it, excuse me. As he's going to think better of it.
Look at this.
He's going to be very close to the back of Veyron. Veyron not getting a very good exit out of the center S. Down into turn 4. Roscoe's just going to sit behind. Veyron's just going to sit there as well, not looking for the move on 12. He's a little bit too far back.
You see, Veyron went a little bit deep down into turn 2, the center S, and, well, Roscoe kind of backed it up and got a little bit of a switchback theoretically and tried to grab the exit, and he did get the exit through the curve of the Sol, but down to the retro poste, he just did not have the run with the DRS, because obviously Veyron had it as well. He stays behind, trying to look for that move. Calzado now with a 3-second time penalty. There'll be multiple warnings and track extensions applied at the end of his race time. That's now 2 drivers out of the 11 with a time penalty. As this battle still rages on, Wraith was a little bit closer down through turn 11 this time. Will he try to make the move again? He is deploying the battery momentarily, trying to stay within that 6/10 gap. Trying to stay with Gerbil as best he can. Just not close enough this time. Once more, trying to, I guess, stay behind
Roscoe,
him.
Though,
But
he's closing in on Veyron even with the DRS. They're going to both look for the move as Veyron. Oh, they're both going to think better of it. They're playing the long game. There's a little bit of contact right there, I think. It's on board with Roscoe.
Calzado pits.
Ooh, that is Calzado in the pits.
So now that will trigger the undercut probably. Veyron now down to the retro post and the seated Delago. Sweller team goes a little bit defensive. He'll keep hold of that position. Obviously, that Alfa Romeo being as wide as possible. Right now, Ross Scherble will gain about 10 points on Sweller's team. That's not necessarily going to be working towards Sweller's team's favor. It is going to put Ross Scherble in this championship until Saudi Arabia a week from now. But the constructors-wise, Alfa Romeo, they're holding on.
Yeah, just looking at the gap between Mozzie and Masterplan is 2.6 seconds. Obviously, Mozzie on those mediums compared to Masterplan on the softs. So the softs are starting to wear out a little bit. You know, they got about 3 laps left before they're actually dead. Veyron's going to still look for the move behind Speller's team. Speller's team is blinking. I keep calling him stream, but I know it's Steam. I'm sorry, everybody.
We're watching a stream, and you're calling him stream even though it's Steam. Yep.
Yeah, I know. Says the man who went and got chicken nuggets and didn't offer a fat guy any. Makes me upset.
Hey, man.
What is going on anymore?
He doesn't like me, sorry. I don't know what's up.
You two are like a married couple.
No. We're not that far.
Bickering in the booth here.
Hey, man.
Roscoe looked close enough to Veyron up into 6. Kind of backed out of it, obviously, because, well, the dirty air not really doing him any favors, but he's kind of close enough, theoretically, if he would try to send one down into turn 10 on Sweller's team. Maybe not close enough that time, because we've maybe had a little bit of an Albin situation. Well, he's in the Mercedes, so it would theoretically work out.
Just the wrong secondary vehicle.
Hey, we don't worry about that.
Yep, okay. Also,
Veyron got the better exit. He may actually try to look for it now. You see Sweller's team blinking under 20% of his ERS. He will have the DRS, and he will try to make the move, Veyron. He'll go to the right-hand side with the DRS assisted. Will this probably put in Roscoe as well? He'll try to go defensive. That's going to be Sweller's team down into center S. Veyron stays ahead of Sweller's team, but Sweller's team stays ahead of Roscoe.
Yeah, and Sweller's also going to have the DRS on Veyron. He's not going to be close enough to look for move down into turn number 4. He's gaining, and he's not too close. Not close enough, I should say. Wow, my brain is just like dead.
Interesting.
I think this might be Sweller's time now, since he's low on ERS as you can see he's blinking. Looking over at the other drivers, they've been saving ERS around being in this train, so this might be Sweller's opportunity to save up some ERS and try and bounce back at Veyron and get back ahead.
Very much so.
Also
As
be a
it
good
stands
chance
right
to
now,
save
by the way.
fuel.
Yes, definitely so. 'Cause, I mean, if there's some drivers that have that fuel situation, this would definitely be helping out with that DRS. But right now, as it stands, Aston Martin have their 15-point gap. They would carry the championship over to Saudi Arabia for the constructors. We'll see how it plays out. Because right now, you see, Butch Scherble and Sweller's team, they have the same amount of wins. So a tiebreaker, I guess, wouldn't. I don't know how the tiebreaker works.
Sweller's going to get actually a 4 run out of the center S. Roscoe's going to stay right there. Sweller had to use his battery to keep ahead, though. Sweller's still staying in P4, but like I said, he had to use that battery. Masterplan's going to get another 3-second tap, I don't think.
That is true. With that being said, right now, with Masterplane now has 6 seconds of time penalties. That'll put him behind Mozzie, and now putting that gap to 13, which actually Alfa Romeo would gain a slab up more. because obviously they'll swip around again, and they would lock the championship.
The gap between first and second is down to 0.4 of a second. See what Wraith can do.
Here's the crucial
coming
part.
into the DRS zone.
Who pits first?
Well, Gerbil was going to throw the move right there. Wraith is going to
Turn one
look
again.
for it. He's not.
Just close enough, but he just... I think Wraith, honestly, he's not using as much battery as he really wants to. He's staying behind, kind of playing the long game. He could pass him right now if he wants to. No doubt. With the placement of ERS down the main straightaway with that DRS, well, how close he's gotten, he could easily send it up the inside if he really wanted to. But we'll see Roscoe swelling up the inside of Sweller's team down into the Desito de Lago. He gets up to 4th in the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, Sweller just running out of battery. He's down below 10% as that light is flashing on the back of his Alfa Romeo from Thomas Death's POV. The gap between Wraith and Veyron is now 4 seconds. Wow.
I think it means 6.
Yeah, words, English. No.
I'm just curious, though, as for who's going to pull the undercut on the other, because we're coming around that lap where you would pit onto the mediums, but the question is, who's going to bite the bullet first? Is it going to be Gerbil or Wraith?
That could be the move.
Veyron is not in. Roscoe stays out. Sweller stays out. Thomas stays out. Masterplane comes in.
So they split the strategy. And Aston Martin Masterplane does come in.
Look at
once again-
Veyron. Roscoe, he's all over the back of Veyron. He don't look for the move on the
He may go for this move.
outside. He's going to get it done before turn 4. He's going to run a little bit wide on exit, though. He's still going to stay ahead. Nice move by Roscoe.
Very nice indeed. Up to 2nd position. Once again, remember he got a podium a week ago. He's looking for it again. He got 3rd. He wished he got 2nd. The Australian at the Australian Grand Prix, but he couldn't quite get there due to the penalties. So, well, I mean, still happy nonetheless. But he now is on the podium once again because that pass, even though it is theoretically on track for P3, it's still the podium nonetheless. Can he hold on?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Gerbil comes in this lap to cover off Wraith. As he does.
He does.
Stay on board
Yeah,
with
let's
follow him.
Gerbil.
The gap has gone down significantly between Wraith and Boss Gerbil. The undercut
Why is
is
the whole
really
pack
proving
is in
Wraith.
behind?
Ooh.
How was that not a 5 second
Gerbil's a
penalty for
clean
any
stop.
of those guys?
But here comes Wraith. Clean stop for the Aston Martin. It's going to be close on exit. Gerbil may actually have pulled the overcut. Going to be very close. The overspeed. Who has the better exit? Down onto the Retro Pasta. It looks like the Aston Martin has the better angle. He may have this position. Wraith to the Cover del Sol. Here he goes. Going to be almost really close in the exit. Gerbil does stay ahead, crucially. He has pulled the overcut.
Wow. That surprised me. I thought Wraith had
Sweller
that
got
bad.
ahead of all of those guys.
He has. He may have had an illegal overtake because he let Roscoe through.
What did Sweller
Either
do
that
to
or
manage
he's trying to stay
that?
behind him.
That is a good question.
Built different.
The championship leader is indeed built different. You see, running wide, that is going to be the Mercedes of Veyron. He gets overtaken by Thomas
right there,
Death.
though, too. Where did he come from?
I have no idea.
Undercut.
Wow.
It's worked.
That's really the only answer, because he was like 3 seconds off, and
But
now he's on the back of these drivers.
Here brings the question, what is Mozzie going to do for his teammate in P5? Even though
Not
Mozzie
theoretically
is...
much, because, well, see Roscoe's gap to these two, it's 9.3. So he can't necessarily back these two into him and benefit Sweller's team as Veyron actually gets overtaken by Masterplane. But
Does he have ring damage?
I don't really see what Mozzie could do.
Wait,
Veyron does. He's in the pit lane.
where did he get that damage?
Maybe the pit exit. We saw it with Heatwave. He's replacing his front wing. It's gone completely wrong for the Mercedes of
that's
Veyron. He
groggy
was
around.
battling for the podium.
Froggy clearly not having a great time here in Sao Paulo, and he's on the cusp of being lapped because Mozzie. Actually, wait a minute. Look how close Paul Gerbil and Wraith are already to Mozzie.
He's gained about 7/10 of a second from between the last lap to this one. And look at the exit of Botch Turbo Amazi. The traction compared to the 16-lap-old mediums and the 1-lap-old, medium of Botch Turbo and the Aston Martin. You can see him right here. He's going to use that ERS, and he's going to have DRS crucially. So Wraith's not going to be able to attack him. Yellow flag. There's Groggy. To the right-hand side, Gerbil on Mozzie. Easy through of Gerbil and grabs the fastest lap, which is quickly taken away by Wraith. But now Mozzie acts as a little bit of a buffer between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull because he's going to get DRS. The exit of the Curva del Sol. Here comes Wraith. He's going to the left-hand side and the Retro Pasta. It's going to be quite easy. The DRS on both of them, but the Red Bull gets a little bit more of an advantage and slots right through into second.
I think Mozzie knew he wasn't fighting those two for the win. He's just trying to play his strategy and see what happens when he comes into the pits. The Sweller's better
for sure,
though. Again.
Yes.
Swapping
I'm
back
so
and forth, I guess. I believe they're just swapping back and forth to try and catch up, but they are way off of Gerbil and Wraith. They're 11
Wraith is outside
behind.
the DRS.
Yes, he is.
Ooh.
That is crucial.
That is really crucial because if Gerbil can maintain this pace and Wraith will be outside of that DRS, he will have to try to push a little bit harder, maybe use that ERS he has harvested. Look at the difference he has. Look at his steering wheel. A couple of laps ago, that was not at all what we saw from the Red Bull.
I know, he was around like 80 before all that. Now he's
Mozzie's
less
gonna
than 50.
have DRS on Wraith though.
But Mozzie's the tire difference, the traction is just not there. He's already outside of that gap, and he has that DRS. It's a little bit too far back because right now Mozzie, as it stands, yet obviously he's yet to pit, but one safety car now can throw everything out the window, and Alfa Romeo 3-4 would win the championship here at Brazil, here in Sao Paulo. So a safety car is what Mozzie wants right now, as long as it's not either him or his teammate that causes it.
Yeah, most likely in every Tier 2 race that we've done together, there's always been that one incident that's going to change the thing of the race. Usually it doesn't happen.
Doesn't matter
every
when.
race, though. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there it is.
Absolutely.
Not quite.
Yellow flag.
I tried.
Rocky. Down the Retro Pasta.
He's clearly struggling with the rear of that Alpine, and well, he's lapped down off of everyone, and well, it just proves he did not have a great qualifying, and it's translated into the race to what has been a horrible day.
Horrid day for the Alpine of Groggy.
Roscoe's going to look for the
he
move.
has a little bit long to go.
He's going to think better of it.
Not close enough for the AlphaTauri on the Alfa Romeo Sweller. And right now, this would put him provisionally on the podium, which it's kind of been a recurring theme. You've seen it through a lot of races. The chaos, the tenacity of these drivers, especially these top three, usually find the way to get through. Like, for example, look at, Monza. After that chaos, before that, completely incredible final couple of laps, the top three were the championship three, even after all that happened. And even after all that's happened so far in this race, the top three so far, provisionally, Mozzie will have to pit, obviously, so provisionally, Sweller will be P3, are the championship three once again.
It's funny how things work out like that.
Absolutely. So now, coming to complete lap 20, 21 done. About 15 more to go for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Gerbil leads Wraith, leads Mozzie, Sweller's team, Roscoe, Toneless, Master Playing, Calzone, Tweaking, and Veyron, your top 10. Obviously, we have lost TGM Heatwave so far through the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. A long way to go. A lot of these drivers, if not all of them, have made their final stop, barring Mozzie in third position at the moment. But a safety car could throw everything upside down.
It definitely can.
Roscoe,
One
he
person.
might look for the move. He's not going to. Sweller's going to run a little bit.
Really wide as Sweller. Oh, no! Big contact. Roscoe into Sweller. Sweller may have side pod damage, and he's off to the right side. His wheel, I believe, is disconnected. Something has gone wrong. His controller, or whatever his operating system, he's retired. And that is absolutely detrimental to this championship for Sweller and for the Alfa Romeo, the Constructors' Championship. He's out on lap 21 at turn 5.
Yeah, you don't just disconnected because he went wide and then he just I have no words.
This is
So now-
Sweller's first retirement, I want to say. He has not retired in any race
Veyron.
until now.
Speechless. The Alfa Romeo team. Mozzie pits. It has gone all unfolding for Alfa Romeo. There is no safety car. Sweller's team leaves the session. His first retirement comes at one of the most crucial events for the championship. 49 points separates Wraith and Sweller's team. Right now, Wraith would gain about 19. He has that fastest lap right now, which actually, by the way, Gerbil has it. Never mind. He'll gain 18, putting the gap down at 31 over the course of 3 races. It's all unfolded. The championship's wide open, and right now, Gerbil may have a chance to stay in it.
I
As
just
of right
want to
now,
find out the
it's-
gap between Gerbil and Wraith is 2.4 seconds.
Wraith has fallen off, maybe trying to nurse his mediums, maybe trying to save a bit of fuel, maybe a little bit of both. But Gerbil's absolutely tearing it right now, and Aston Martin, right now, will be
Ooh, Calzoner's fuel light
continuing
is
that championship on.
Ooh. Turn that
I
back
think-
off.
Closest battle on track, Toneless and Wraith. Oh, I'm sorry, Toneless and Roscoe. My bad. Groggy up to 10th. Everyone now would grab 1 point at the minimum.
If I were Gerbil right now, I would just stay exactly where I am and just do exactly what I'm doing, because he's grabbing maximum. Well, not maximum. Well, no, it is maximum. I take that back. He's grabbing 26 points compared to Sweller not being in the race, because the gap between them is 77. After this race, I believe it is 51, if I'm not mistaken. And Wraith, well, he'll close the gap down from, I believe, from 49 to 31.
Absolutely. Gerbil could still be in this championship. Don't count him out yet. Wraith could still be in this championship. Don't count him out yet. There's 3 rounds to go after this one, barring the conclusion of this one. And there's 3 drivers at the moment, all within 50 points of each other. It's going to be an absolute stonker, the final 3 races. But right now we have to get through this one. Lap 23 of 36, the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Make it 24. 23 down, 13 more to go.
I thought this championship was going to be wrapped up within the next coming races, but how things that changed. Welcome to Tier 2, first off. Like, one thing can
Absolutely.
just turn completely upside down.
It's not like Tier 4 is it there, bud?
You're right.
By the way, because apparently no one has said it anywhere through any social media platform. Good on you, Neymar. Your champion of the Tier 4 championship, by the way, Mozzie, 3-second time penalty. Phantom in the Alfa Romeo, ironically, your teammate, Redeemer.
Yeah,
How'd that
indeed.
happen?
I honestly, I gave him props last night. I didn't have a very good race. I put in a stunking 7.5 last night, and then just got a horrible start, and then just tried to recover, and then just it went downhill from me. But nonetheless, we're gonna see what we can do next week at Jeddah to try to steal the Alpha Championship, and we can go from there and celebrate as a team. As Mozzie is
Team
close on the back of
championships
Calzoner.
coming to an end. Yes, he has. Remember, Mozzie on that fresh, soft compounded tire now, I believe. Yes, he is. Calzoner on those mediums. By the way, Master Plate now has a 9-second time penalty to be applied at the end of his race time. That would put him provisionally
Mozzie's
behind
on the
Mozzie.
inside.
That was a pretty easy move for the Alfa Romeo, and, well, consider the fact that Sweller DNF'd, he's going to have to give absolutely everything to gain points still than Aston Martin, in which both Aston Martins are ahead of Mozzie. Mozzie just needs to do absolutely everything, and like I said, to Purple Sector 1, he could possibly grab the fastest lap.
Well, and Mozzie needs to close within 8 tenths, well, he's actually doing so, of Master Plane. Because with Master Plane having 9 seconds and Mozzie having 3, he just needs to be within 3 seconds through the whole race. I mean, he's effectively going to have P5.
So as it stands, Master Plane with his penalty would go down to 7th position. Mozzie up to 5th. Calzoner to 6th. But everyone else has no time penalties. Veyron clean. Same with Roscoe, Toneless, Wraith, and Gerbil. Your top 4. No penalties, obviously. And 9th down for Veyron. But now, with about 10 laps to go, coming around next time by, you see down to the retro pasta to see the Lago now for. He's not having a fun time. There's that fastest lap. That takes it away. He will get points, which is one thing why you never should give up in league racing. You always have some silver lining, and Groggy's going to find that if he completes the entirety of this race, or at least 90% of this race, which, by the way, that would be, let me get my calculator out real quick, because I am not the smart.
It'd take a while to guess and say lap 32.
Lap 33.
Oh,
I mean, technically, if we're going to get all technical here, he was right. Miniko was.
Hey,
32.4.
33.
I said 32.
No, Miniko was right. It's 32.4.
Oh,
But theoretically, you can't do a 0.4 of a lap.
Hey,
So it's 33.
No, technically you
No, you
can't
can't.
catch it, because you remember last season at Coda when the game just died at Tier 5?
I can't say I do.
Okay, well, literally, the whole game crashed under safety car. Like, half the field was dead. No, the whole field was dead,
Well,
minus
no.
the drivers.
No, that is a different story.
It's the same
'Cause after-
difference.
No, it is not. A driver being the driver in a team. Okay,
That's
once
fine, it's
a
in the
race
pits.
reaches halfway, yes, he is. So he's going to try to go and pit for
Oh,
a
he's
soft
gonna new
compounded
wing.
tire. And that too. That's crucial. So back
The
to what I was saying
Mazda
though,
P5.
he was going to get that regardless.
What's
What's crucial for Master Plan is he'll get 9th. But back to what I was saying though, is for a race to become official, it is halfway. For a driver to be scored as completing the Grand Prix, you must complete 90%.
Confirmation
So-
from
So
Swell,
that's
by the
the
way.
difference.
Yeah,
His
I just
controller
wanted to say
disconnected, reconnected, and had no
Yeah.
control.
Heartbreak for the Alfa Romeo. And we saw it all.
The one
I
race,
honestly thought
and
it was
it's
on a
completely
wheel.
unfolded. No?
No, I kind of knew he was on the controller. I don't know why I said wheel. I was a little slow in the membrane.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna be the next guy.
I can be at least 70% accurate on what the
Yeah, I'd say
control
60-40.
method these drivers are using. I say 70% because I'm not necessarily sure on a couple of these drivers. But,
Well, which
you
one?
know, you kind of know your. I mean, what? Calzone's on a wheel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, see, there you go. Then I'm about 100% accurate then. I can tell you. No, maybe not Master Plan. Is he on a controller?
Watch.
I don't think he did.
Let me watch.
But I can be at least.
That is
I can be at
100%
least
wheel
80%
inputs.
accurate. It is wheel. Okay.
It
So-
looks like wheel inputs, but then again, I could be wrong. But I know it looks like he's on a wheel from his wheel inputs that he's using. Yeah, that's
Okay.
wheel.
So I'm thinking what? Gerbil wheel, Wraith wheel, toneless controller. Roscoe is what? Controller or wheel? Forgot.
Let me check.
Think Roscoe.
As he's about to
Think
go,
Roscoe might be on- Hang on.
I think he's on a wheel.
as he's closing onto the back until instead of keep watch. That's wheel.
Yeah, that's wheel.
That is a wheel.
The same with
Yeah, so there
Toneless,
you go.
I think.
No, he's on controller. I can
Yeah.
confirm that.
Is he?
Yeah, toneless is on a controller. I knew that. We confirmed that a couple of
Calzone's
times
back
in the,
in the
booth, I
pits.
believe, at the Japanese Grand Prix. So, I believe Mozzie what? Mozzie controller, Calzone wheel, tweaking wheel. Veyron, I actually don't know Veyron. Controller? Or wheel? I think it's most likely wheel.
Yeah, it's controller.
Yeah.
Is it controller?
That's-
Okay,
yeah.
I was right the first time. Don't second guess
No,
myself.
you can definitely tell by the inputs, because when they're in the lower gear, their inputs it's like so much more than
Stuttering.
it would be with the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. See, boom. Using its Mythbusters in Tier 2.
Me being the one controller player out of YouTube, I would know this. So
Yeah, but I was also on a controller for like 4 seasons, so
You see, I was on a controller for a race and didn't finish it. Master Plan did 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and track extensions.
I don't care
That
about
puts the total up to 12.
oh. I just saw a bit of a moment from Veyron. He Tweaking made a mistake in turn 9.
Yeah,
turn
but look
8,
at the
and
amount of laps that Tweaking's done on those mediums.
I don't think he can actually make it on those tires.
That's gonna be difficult. I'm not.
If
the
he
tires
makes
don't
it, I'm
exactly
giving
look
the
great.
man a cookie. I'm 100% giving him a cookie.
He's had a rough couple of weeks, so he would probably enjoy that cookie. Bayron to the right side, though. He'll get to a little bit of DRS assistance and those fresh mediums and around the outside. Tweaking will let him have it into 1, and Bayron up to 6th. The Ferrari of tweaking to 7th.
Look
Regardless,
at
he
the
probably would
Bayron
have had
tweaking
this thing.
tires, though. You can definitely see them, like, they're like not in
Yes,
a
you can.
good shape.
It's that right front. You see the graining. It's not very pretty, to say the least.
See, I can't really see that stuff anymore because I got a new TV a couple of days ago, so like there's a lot more shadows for me. I can't exactly see that. Like I get like a glimpse.
Maybe you should fix that.
Nah.
Maybe you should
That's just
not
the way the
buy
time
expensive
penalty.
TVs.
Hey man, it
That's
was
now
worth it.
15 seconds. He could be in danger, by the way, if this
12
penalty
seconds.
trend
No, that is
continues.
15. Yep. I'm smooth right.
It could possibly lead to maybe even a pending disqualification. We've seen it multiple times throughout the tiers that it doesn't always linger at those 30 seconds or so. By the way, Wraith had a little bit of a moment exit of the Decida del Lago. And yellow flag.
Okay.
That is an Aston Martin. That is Master Plane.
Yeah, speaking of moments,
He goes around at turn 10.
looks like he just locked his rears and the car just didn't want to accept that, and well, that's him round. And he's also close to being lapped, by the way, because Gerbil, Master Plane just ended the second sector, and Gerbil's just about to.
Yeah, but look at the
The
gap
teammates.
between Gerbil and Wraith right now, though.
30.4 seconds. Yes, Wraith has been either kind of hounding on his tires, trying to make sure they can make it to the end, maybe not so trusting of the tire wear, or Gerbil's pace on the mediums unmatched. We saw it through the Mexican Grand Prix, the Mexico City Grand Prix to be more specific. He's on those tires have been pretty exceptionary for the Aston Martin, but right now, it's going to be the battle for the podium between Telnesteth and Roscoe. 0.6 of a second. I've been kind of watching this
battery
battle.
difference between the two.
Significant.
Round
Actually, not much significant at all. They both have a decent amount.
Yeah, 70
It's like a 20% difference between the two of Roscoe and Thomas. I think Roscoe
And that
got a
could-
decent exactly out of turn 2, then to turn 3. Could he be close enough? If he could go for a move on Thomas, he's on the DRS. He's not using the battery, however. He's just going to stay behind for now.
Oh, that's
No,
Master
yellow
Plane
flag.
again.
Ooh.
Same corner. This time it went a little bit off. This time more. Could be thinking for a trip to the pit lane. Because remember, right now he needs to finish ahead of Groggy to grab 1 extra point. But even that 1 extra point, as minuscule as it sounds, could be a huge help in the championship. Because right now, as it stands, Mozzie will gain 10 points. Actually, this could go down to the wire here. Because if Bot Sturble, if he gets this race win and doesn't get the fastest lap, which right now belongs to Mozzie, you see it right here. That is 25 points. And yes, Master Plane does come in to stop. And he may, wait a minute here,
I'm doing the calculations. Hang on.
he retires in the pit lane.
Oh.
He did not complete lap 32.
I'm doing the calculations right now.
Bot
16
Sturble
points.
has, but look, Master Plane's not going to finish. He's not going to get counted as 90%. He did not complete at least that 0.4 of that lap on lap 32.
Yeah, because he was
So he is not going to be scored. He just crossed the line to finish lap 31. And as soon as he hit lap 32, he retired to the pit lane. He's not going to get that 90%. Meaning, Bot Sturble only has 25 points. Mozzie has 10.
I did the calculations.
If he catches Roscoe Arm, they can win the title right here.
Yeah, I just did the calculations, and the gap between Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo, if it stays the way it is, it's exactly 132 points.
One mistake from the top 4, or Mozzie overtaking Roscoe, Alfa Romeo can win the title here.
I mean, it's a tough ask to close down 4.5 seconds and then gain a 3-second gap
But
with 2 laps.
look at Roscoe and Toma's death.
I know, but I'm
battling.
just saying, like, if it...
One mistake between the two drivers going off, wing damage, could lead to a completely different outcome.
There's another factor here. Botch Gerbil is yellow on his fuel.
Oh,
That is true. If Bot Sturble does not win this race, Alfa Romeo are champion.
Wraith isn't struggling with fuel, so it's
When
only
did he retire?
pit lane. I'm gonna assume that's pit
I'm
lane.
guessing so.
Yeah, because his stock
he
just
doesn't
instantly
exist on the map.
disappeared.
Yeah.
So he has completed that 90% rule. He will get, if Groggy completes and overtakes him, he will get 2 points to his name. Masterplane will not, because he did not complete that 90% distance. But now it's going to be down to these two. Mozzie's gained another half a second. He's pushing everything he can, but right now, it's now or never. For these two, this is for the podium. We're now on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix.
You can go on board with Gerbil too, and you can listen to him lift into the corners.
Oh, he is.
Trying to lift and coast and save that fuel.
Minimizing the amount of gears that he's using as well. Usually you go 5th at the long right-hander. He's using 6th. He's minimizing everything he can do. He's on the bubble, actually. I just saw a flicker back and forth.
It's going to be close, but maybe that's what Wraith was doing the entire stint. Maybe it wasn't necessarily pace. Maybe it was. We don't know. I am tweaking pits. He'll try to get that fastest lap. And by the way, if he gets that fastest lap, and Mozzie doesn't overtake Roscoe, that's one point to the good. So that eliminates any chance of a tiebreaker.
Tweaking's going to be a lap down.
He still hasn't. Wait, no, he won't.
Oh, it's going to be super tight.
It will be so close. It will.
I think Bosher's dead.
He's a lap down.
He's a lap down. He will not be able to get it. Tweaking has, unless Sturble lets him through.
If I were Bosherable, I'd do it.
If he's lifting and coasting, right now, and if he knows the points difference.
His light is blinking at the moment.
This is crucial, because right now you see Tweaking closing up. If Gerbil knows the points difference, you see the pace. Tweaking's pushing. Gerbil let him by. If he lets him by,
the pace
he may not even have to let him by.
The pace difference is just way too much. Tweaking's going to get ahead due to Gerbil lifting and coasting. And with Tweaking having the better tires, there it is. He's ahead. Oh!
He's ahead, so he can get that fastest lap, which could eliminate any chance of a tiebreaker. If it does go down to one, Mozzie loses a bit of time. Roscoe and Toneless are battling, but it's this man.
But Turbo can also get the DRS from this, and he'll bring him to the line.
Yes, he can, but it doesn't matter. To the line he goes. 6 wins for Wraith a week ago. He'll tie that. Bosch Turbo, he's in the championship fight still. He'll win the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, tying for the most wins of the season. Wraith will second. He'll get a podium once again, but down to the line between Roscoe and Wraith. Roscoe and Toneless.
Mozzie's out of fuel.
Roscoe waited too long. He tried to wait to try and save the fuel. Toneless will grab the podium. Roscoe 4th. Mozzie is out of gas. But with this occurrence, Aston Martin will take the championship one more round to Jeddah a week from now. They live to see another day.
It's going to be the most difficult task for them ever. They need to grab a full 44 points. It's not for Romeo, either out to other points or both the DNF. So if they want to keep it alive, they need to step it up. Meanwhile, Veyron, he's going to come across the line to finish in P6. And Tweaking, does he grab the fastest lap? He's 1.8 up, and he does.
He does. So that eliminates any chance of a tiebreaker. So Aston Martin will gain 1 point.
Wait a minute. I think the calculation's wrong. Hang on a minute.
25 points to the race winner and 10 for P5. But takes that, 11 for, that would be 14. Wait a minute, no, we're wrong. Tiebreaker.
Wait! No! This was actually the most crucial thing ever. By Tweaking taking the fastest
just
lap.
Saved.
Alfa Romeo don't win it.
Tweaking just saved Aston Martin.
Oh.
On the last chance.
I'd be ecstatic if I was Aston Martin.
Well, they'll find out in a few seconds' time. The driver of the day, obviously being Mozzie in the Alfa Romeo. Botch Turbo wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix and ties for the most wins this season. guy he ties him with is right behind him. In second, Wraith grabs second. Toneless Death grabs a podium in third. Roscoe was oh so close. Just couldn't get it. In fourth position, ahead of Mozzie in fifth. Veyron sixth. Tweaking seventh. Groggy Oregano eighth. Calzone ninth. He will get some points, two to be exact, as he completed that 90% rule. Masterplane will not get that 1 point, as he did not. Sweller's team, we lost him. TGM Heatwave and Masterplane off from the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. But at the last possible moment, by Tweaking getting the fastest lap, Aston Martin have one more round to take and try and take the championship to the dead of the end.
I believe we're just waiting for Thomas Death.
And I'll get this out of the way now. Since we're doing this, we'll have Miniko do driver of the day, being Mozzie and Toneless Death. Redeemer, you can do P2, and I'll grab the race winner. So take it away, as everyone is here for Mozzie and the driver of the day, Miniko.
Oh. I have myself muted. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Be sure to include your audio, of course. So, let's start it off. Mozzie, you started outside the top 10 and decided to go with the alternate strategy. And, well, needless to say, it has paid off in one way or another. You did have the fastest lap, unfortunately, with your teammate having his first DNF. You were still able to pick up the pieces, but because of Tweaking grabbing the fastest lap on the final lap, you guys unfortunately do not take the constructors. But after this, how do you feel? And do you think Alfa Romeo will take it next week?
Yeah, I think we can. But you never know. As well, what happened as well?
He went wide at turn 4, and then I guess he just had a moment on the rear, hit Roscoe, and then his controller disconnected, went straight into the wall.
Okay. Yeah. My race was pretty boring. I stuffed up qualifying completely. I just decided to go on the mediums, and yeah, it was a sort of boring race. I guess I was by myself most of the time. I thought maybe I could catch the guys in front, but yeah, a couple of mistakes, and then I ran out of fuel. So anyway, that was P5. It's okay.
I mean, getting a handful of points and, well, just one more would have sealed it for Alfa Romeo, but it was just one person that ruined it. But nonetheless, you still managed to grab P5. Next week, though, we go over to Jeddah with Sweller obviously having that retirement. Do you think that he'll be able to bounce back as well as Alfa Romeo next week?
Look, congrats to Botch today doing race. Well done, but yeah, Botched and Wraith, they're extremely quick. And Sweller, he's not quite as quick, but he's been consistent. That's what kept him in it. But yeah, he'll be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have to find out in just a week's time. Redeemer, Captra, do you guys have any questions for Mozzie?
Nope, we're all good.
Nope, I don't.
Alright, with that, then congratulations on Driver of the Day from starting in P11 to P5. And with that, we shall now move on to P3, which is Toneless. Now, Toneless, you were pretty much in that, I guess you could say, midfield fight between you, Sweller, Roscoe, Veyron. It was quite a battle, but it all unfolded when Veyron and Sweller both made mistakes. And you just managed to hold on to grab another podium just ahead of Roscoe. Tell us, how's your race?
It was pretty good, especially after practicing the entire week. Yeah, I felt like I had really good pace, and thankfully it did show for this race. I wasn't expecting a P3, but I managed to get a P3, which feels pretty good, especially what happened after Thursday, last Thursday. But yeah, I want to say definitely a huge GG to Roscoe. That was definitely quite a really good battle at the end. Unfortunately for him, I noticed that I was trying to let him by actually, so I could start saving up ERS, but then I noticed he refused to pass me. So I knew I had to save up ERS. But that was definitely a really great battle between myself and Roscoe. I also wanted to give a huge shout out to Taco Man for helping me during the race, and to Tweak. hopefully each week has a better race next week. But yeah, it was a really good race. The middle of it was pretty intense. In the end, it was a nice battle between myself and Roscoe.
Yeah, it was definitely an entertaining battle, and you just managed to hold on at the line. Next week, though, we go over to Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Do you think you can go onto the podium once again, or do you think you can do better?
I know a few people are not going to be happy about me saying this. No, Jeddah's like my second worst track, so no. I would have no business being on the podium. I'll definitely try, but I'm not expecting a podium at all.
We'll just have to find out in just a week's time as well. It's Jeddah. Who knows how that race is going to go, but once again, congratulations on your podium. Katra, Redeemer, do you two have any questions for Toneless?
No, sir.
Alright, with that then, once again, congratulations on your podium. And with that, we move on to P2. Redeemer, take it away for Wraith.
Yeah, first of all, Wraith, congratulations. You set an amazing qualifying lap. I believe it is a 107 flat, but quickly taken over by Gerbil at the end. Was that your best lap in qualifying? And, you know, battling with Gerbil the whole time, and then he just kind of pulled away from you in the second stint. You know, just walk us through your race and tell us your thoughts and what you could have done differently to possibly get OW.
Yeah, I mean, well, for qualifying, I mean, I could have gone faster, but I was trying to save a soft tire for the race in case there was a safety car or something, so that's why I didn't go for a third lap. But yeah, in the race, I got a better start than Gerbil, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get to take the position, but I mean, it's fine. I stayed behind him, and then once we pitted, I tried to go for the undercut, which didn't work as how I'd liked it to, but yeah, then we came up to Mozzie, and then yeah, after once I lost some time from him, that's when Gerbil pulled away, and I just couldn't close the gap again. So then and then yeah, at the end I was closing the gap back again, and then I guess Groggy or whatever gave him DRS while he was having fuel issues, so that was you know, a little annoying, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
So we move to Jeddah Street Circuit next week. Any thoughts?
No, just, you know, gonna do what I always do, try to get the most out of the weekend, and yeah, nothing else.
Well, I look forward to seeing what happens next week. Miniko, Katra, anything to add, comment, or ask?
Nope.
I actually do. So, with this week being Sweller's first retirement and you grabbing 18 points, that gap is now reduced to 31 points. Do you think if Sweller, obviously the pace between you and Sweller as of recently has been, you have had the advantage, do you think you'll be able to catch him in time?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think as long as I keep getting the most I can out of these weekends, think for sure, I definitely have a really good chance of taking the championship, but I mean, you know, we'll see.
We will definitely see. Once again, congratulations on your P2.
Thank you.
Well then, we go from P2, P3, driver of the day, to the race winner then. Once again, congratulations to Wraith, congratulations to Toneless and Mozzie for their respected positions and third, second, and driver of the day. But now we go to the race winner, and that being Bot Sherble. He now ties the most wins in the season. He had to beat the man who he tied with. Gerbil, you have won the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. What has happened from your race?
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting race. Had a terrible start. Wraith almost got me there, but I was able to hold out the position, like he said, and then yeah, he's just behind me in DRS, but I had a fast setup on the straight, so he couldn't really gain me there any time there, maybe 1/10 with the DRS, so I was sitting pretty comfy, and then I pitted for the mediums, and then was running really good on those, and then like around lap 26, I noticed I was like gonna run out of fuel, So I was lifting and coasting. It's like 2 seconds off my pace. So I felt like I had a lot more in me, but that was a tough race to finish. Keep that gap from Wraith.
Well, now that gap, not only to Wraith, but the Sweller's team closes down. You were a little bit in danger if you lost more than 1 point to Sweller's team to actually be eliminated from championship contention. Well, now your gap to him being 52 points with only 3 rounds to go. That seems a lot doable because only, well, two race distances is 52 points, meaning, well, you have an extra round. Do you think you could do something a week from now in Saudi Arabia and Jeddah to probably go close that championship down even more? You're still in this championship fight 21 rounds in.
Yeah, a pretty good pace around Jeddah, so looking forward to it. But even if I win every race, it's not up to me at that point. Sweller Stream's got to make some mistakes, maybe have another DNF in order for me to even come close. So yeah, I just got to come out and do as much as I can and try and make the championship as interesting as possible.
That it has been. The championship still not over yet, and still a lot of opportunities for these drivers, especially Bosch Sherble and Wraith, to close in on Sweller's team, the championship leader. But once again, congratulations on winning the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
Thank you.
Well, now then, that sums it up from us on track in Tier 2 for the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Myself, Haycatcher, joined alongside by Redeemer, like always, and Miniko. Once again, kind of a recurring theme as of late. He's kind of weird.
So are you. Don't even. Don't get me started.
It's great to have him, obviously, once again. And, well, don't go anywhere. If you like Formula 1 racing, in about 40 minutes' time, we head to Sao Paulo for the Interlagos circuit once again for Tier 1 championship of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Myself and Mitchie will call the action. You get to see another championship closing down between Bailey and Chandler. It's getting a little dramatic. We'll see how close that championship can get through this race. It could be a very, very stunning race indeed. For myself, Haycatcher, once again, Redeemer, Miniko, Durable, you have Wraith, Toneless, Mozzie the driver today, everyone in the booth today, as well as everyone in the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship and the Breakout Racing League as a whole. We thank you for watching this illustrious stream. Tune in for the one in about 40 minutes' time. But also remember to tune in, not tomorrow, because ACC's on a little bit of a break. We'll come back with more information when we have that. But on Wednesday, you have the first time we head to Jeddah in the Formula 2 Championship. Then we have on Thursday the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix for Realistic. And then on Friday, we have the Tier 3 and Tier 4 Grand Prix at Saudi Arabia at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as same place, same time, a week from now at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here on the Breakout Racing League Twitch channel. It's going to be fun. Round 22 of 24. The time is running out. I have said it so many times, but it couldn't be more true. But once again, thank you for watching, and good night.